Alright, so welcome back. We're going to show you how to we prepare our worms for shipping. And the first thing I do is I use a container, I zero it out, and then I put a pound of coconut coir or peat moss for every pound of worms, and I generally do 1 pound at a time. So we've got some Europeans here that we've gotten cleaned and ready to weigh up. So we're gonna put these in here till we get to 2 pounds, because that'll be a pound of the peat moss and a pound of the worms. So we want this to be 2 pounds. And we always go over just a little bit just to take care of any of the soil or debris that might have not been able to get every little piece out. So also to make sure you are getting a full pound of worms. The next thing you want to do is you want to mix that median up on your worms. You want to coat every worm so that they're coated. And we ship in really dry peat moss. Although this isn't dry, I'm just doing this for illustration purposes today. But normally it is dry. And you want to coat your worms really well. The next thing you want to do, you want to use a bag that's breathable. These are cotton bags. You can buy these off the Amazon. And what'll happen is while your worms are in here, they'll be able to breathe. Now, some people use the sandbags, and that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to use. I like to use cotton because when I send you your worms, you can pour your worms out into the bed. You can throw this in your worm bed and they'll actually eat it. So it's biodegradable. And I'm not going to be contributing to the landfills. So I try to keep everything organic, that you can use everything that we send with the worms. You can actually put in your worm bed, from the box to the shreds that we use for packing, the bag, and everything that's in your worms. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to bag your worms. So you're just going to put your worms in the bag. Once we get all our worms in the bag, we're going to tie that bag off. Now, worms are very I don't know what the word's called, but they're like a mouse. They have no bones, so they can get through the smallest of holes. So what we do is we tie our bag, then we take and twist our bag. Once our bag's twisted, Deborah, hand me a zip tie. Right, no, let me get one. You want to twist it like I said. Put a zip tie around it. This is going to keep your worms from being able to escape during shipping. I don't have my scissors handy, but normally I'll cut this off. Again, we're just doing this for illustration today. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to have a box. Now we use normally a 7 by 7 by 7. This is a 8 by 6 by 6, but a 7 by 7 by 7 works really good for 1 pound of worms. You're going to put your bag, after you have a little bit of the shreds in the bottom. You're going to put your bag in, and then you're going to put more shreds in. What this does is, as your worms sweat in shipping, this paper will absorb the moisture so that your box doesn't arrive a big mush. And that's why we ship them in dry material, because they're going to sweat. They're going to secrete the moisture out of themselves. And that's why sometimes your worms may not weigh an exact pound, because they've secreted a lot of their water. Most of your worms are made up of water. So once you get your bedding in there, your shreds to fill up your airspace, so your worms aren't bouncing all around in shipment, We always put an instruction pamphlet in there along with our business card. And then you're just going to tape it up, put your label on it, and send it to the post office. That's all there is to it. It's not